What's up, Florida? Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. You made it. The weekend is here. Well, almost. You just got to get through today and then you can get on to your weekend. But it looks like a fabulous weekend ahead for all of us. The weather looks fantastic. We got a little bit of a cool down going on today, but not too bad. But the good news is we have rebounding temperatures all weekend long into our Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be an awesome weekend. So perfect for outdoor related activities. If there's like a festival or art show, something along that nature, it's going to be a perfect time for that. Or maybe doing some outdoor chores, washing the car. Maybe avoid doing any gardening, especially if you're in the northern half of the state. It's been kind of a crazy, wild winter for us, and we're not quite certain if we're going to see a repeat performance of that cold air as we get further into our February. So maybe hold off if you're in the northern half of the state on any mega gardening work. But obviously, if you live down in South Florida, Keys, yeah, no problem. I would say, if you're north of Orlando, I would definitely not do anything right now. Don't even cut back the dead stuff because we don't know if we're going to see another mega cold shot in a couple of weeks from now or what. So better to just leave it alone and focus on maybe the March time frame for getting into that type of work. But like I said, we do have a bit of a cool down day today, but it is gorgeous out there. Here's our current satellite. Our frontal system from yesterday is well off out to sea now. We've got building high pressure and absolutely crystal clear skies. It's going to look amazing today. We do have a little bit of a breeze out of the northwest there, although nothing like it was yesterday during that frontal passage. But it will be just enough to add a tinge of coolness to the air, a little bit of a chill, especially in the more shaded areas. But out in full sunshine, it should feel glorious today. A look at our current temperatures. This is as of 7 a.m. this morning. You can see we do have some light freeze, frost conditions happening in the Panhandle area and also north central Florida, and working its way all the way down into, say, the Ocala range, maybe all the way down there towards Homosassa. We've got some values down there that are touching 29 and 30 degrees. But again, this is very light. Those temp values have only been there for maybe a maximum of 2 hours. So this is not like a long duration, like hard freeze or anything like that. More or less just insult on top of injury after the mega freezes that we had earlier in this week. But again, with full on sunshine out there today, our temps are going to pop out really quick. So we're going to warm up pretty quickly. So these 30s are going to disappear rather rapidly. So elsewhere in the state, Central Florida, we're down into the middle upper 30s down there in the Orlando, Tampa area, all the way out to the Cape. And then we've got lower to middle 40s, all the way down into South Florida. And looks like our friends down there in the Keys are in the middle 50s this morning. So pretty good range depending on where you're at here in the state. In terms of forecast, again, today we're going to bounce back pretty good. Pretty much everybody in the state's going to be up into the middle 60s, low to middle 60s, I should say. And a few pockets there, northwestern Florida, Panhandle region, we may see some upper 60s there. And the same for like the Everglades area. We might have a little pocket of upper 60s down there as well. So it looks like really, honestly, a great day overall, albeit a little bit on the cool side. As we get into our weekend, Saturday temps, we do have a brief little cool down there in the northern section of the state as that dome of high pressure up over New England area, which is going to be extreme cold for those folks. It's kind of expanding and pushing down a little bit all the way into the southeast. So we're going to see a brief little cool off there on the northern side of Florida for the Panhandle, and pretty much like the Florida-Georgia line, Florida-Alabama line. So we'll have a brief little cool down there for our Saturday in that area, but pretty much central Florida southward. It's going to continue to rebound into the middle 60s, approaching low 70s down there in extreme South Florida. And then as we get into, our Sunday, we'll see that warm air continue to expand northward. So we're going to be really kind of hitting some 70 values across most of South Florida. So the weekend's looking fabulous for everybody. So get out there and enjoy it. It's going to be a terrific weekend. One thing I did want to touch on here that continues to be a news event is our unfortunate situation with drought. So obviously, everybody saw yesterday, we didn't really get much of any breaks in the rain for us yesterday. All the values that we saw were very, very light. And that's pretty much been the case with all the weather systems that have come our way over the last several weeks to a few months. We're just not seeing any major widespread rain producers. And so unfortunately, that's resulted in our drought values increasing and expanding across the state. So you can see here on our current map, we've got severe to extreme drought conditions expanding across a good bit of the state of Florida, especially so in the northern half of the state, north central Florida, and then a little bit of pocket down there in southwest Florida. So this is kind of a tough situation to be in. We're all experiencing that, and obviously our water bills are experiencing that as well, because we're having to use a lot more water to take care of the things that we want to keep alive outside in our yards. So that unfortunately looks like it's going to be a continued challenge for us. The outlook, unfortunately, it doesn't look fabulous for us, folks. So looking into early spring here, February, March, April, it is expected that we will continue to have below values on average rainfall. This does not mean that we might not on occasion get a good soaking, and we can certainly keep our fingers crossed for that. But this is just the expectation that those events are going to be fewer and farther between. So we'll have to keep our fingers crossed that we can get a good rain producer coming our way. And looking at the current models for the Euro and the GFS, just to kind of get a picture for the next week to 2 weeks to see what we've got coming. And unfortunately, it's not showing us any really good signals here. If I advance this out, you can kind of see that Florida's a bit in a donut hole there. Sort of the rain just kind of goes around us. It doesn't really touch it. So, that tells me that we're going to have weather that's pretty much influenced by high pressure. And it looks like we almost have like a dome of high pressure parked right over us, looking at this Euro model. If I change this up, we'll go over to the GFS. And it paints pretty much the same picture. Florida's kind of in a donut hole. And you can see the rain values kind of like up into the southern states, but Florida, unfortunately, does not really get in on any of that activity. So what values you do see here in the state are very low. And you can see these values here in the light greens. Really, we're not talking about much, like 1/10 of an inch or less. So unfortunately, it looks like our drought situation, folks, is going to continue to be a problem for us. So if you haven't done so, totally recommend you look into some alternative source to keep your yards and your gardens watered. So I would invest into like a rain barrel water collection system. Those are really good to use because, during those times when you do experience some rainfall, you'll be able to collect some of that water, keep it stored, and then use that to distribute across your yard and your garden on those days when you're in extreme dry conditions. You'll still have some water that you can utilize to get a good soaking out to the areas of your yard and garden that need it, and all without having to touch your irrigation system. So it's definitely worth looking into. You could probably spend no more than $200-300 maximum to get yourself a system set up that should be able to help take care of that need during extended drought scenarios. So I would highly recommend to doing that. Elsewhere across the state, let's take a few look around here, see how things are going around the state. Here we have Biscayne Bay. This is North Biscayne Bay in the Miami area, looking fabulous out there. Crystal clear skies. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go all the way to, Jacksonville Pier. Again, absolutely crystal clear skies out there, almost flat water, just a few ripples going on. Looking to be a gorgeous day. We've already got people out there on the pier. Looks like they're bundled up. Wearing some jackets, no doubt. We've got temps down into the upper 30s, around 40 degrees here, so I'm sure they're trying to keep warm there. Let's take a look at St. Augustine. There's the lighthouse in the background. Looking to be a beautiful day there as well. Looks like our temp is still at 35. West wind at 7 miles per hour. Otherwise, looking glorious out there today. Let's pop over to Winter Garden here, Central Florida. Man, looking gorgeous out there today. 47 degrees. Looks like just a light breeze, but wow, looking to be a fabulous day there. Let's do a couple more. Lauderdale by the Sea. Beautiful day looking there as well. Although they haven't brought out the chairs and umbrellas yet. I'm sure that's coming up here soon. We'll do one more. Let's go out to Clearwater Beach. Yeah, this looks like way, way better than it did yesterday. Yesterday was wet, breezy, windy. Looked kind of brutal, but today looking much, much better. The waves have calmed down. People out there getting some morning walks in, although I'm sure it's probably on the cool side out there, but that should that's a change here as we get into our afternoon. But all in all, it is looking like a beautiful day across the state. So again, thanks for joining me. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Get outside, enjoy the outdoors. It's going to be a fabulous weekend, and we will see you all on Monday.